We've now invited Brother and Sister Ortiz from New Britain, Connecticut, to visit our studio. Brother Ortiz serves as an elder and as a regular pioneer. He's had many additional privileges of service over the years, and Lynette has been regular pioneering for over 6 years. However, the reason we wanted to talk with them is that thus far, they have successfully countered Satan's attacks on their family. We'd like to hear how they accomplished this. First of all, Freddie, tell us a little bit about your family.
Neither Lynette nor I were raised in the truth. However, we met and we fell in love. At that time, marriage was not for me. So we started a romantic relationship for 2 years before we started attending to the first meeting at the Kingdom Hall. Soon after, we started studying the Bible. We took 2 studies per week, and we knew that this was the truth. But also, we learned that how Jehovah sees immorality, so we needed to do some changes. Lynette's parents want her to continue with her education, so we needed to change our behavior. So 2 years after, we did the changes. Number 1, because we did love Jehovah.
Good.
Number 2, because we loved what we were learning. It was worth it to follow Bible principles. So 2 years later, we got married, and we got baptized, and then we got married.
Very good. So, Lynette, you were raised without a knowledge of Jehovah God. What changes did you both have to make to ensure your own family would have a fine foundation and be successful?
Well, prior to our baptism, Freddie had a serious drinking problem. Based on the way we were raised, there was a lot of jealousy going on, and I would say lack of confidence and trust in each other. My Bible teacher, thankfully, suggested us to study the book, Making Your Family Life Happy, and we ended up studying that book twice. The publication and the Bible principles in it became the foundation of our wonderful marriage and the happy family we enjoy today.
Very nice. So, Freddie, maybe you can tell us about your children and what they're doing with their lives now.
We have 2 sons. Gabriel, he's the oldest one. He started regular pioneer when he was 14 years old. At 18, he was appointed as ministerial servant. At 22 years old, he's been working at the plumbing department at the Warwick Construction for more than 2 years. Adrian is now 18 years old, and he also started regular pioneer when he was 14. Currently, he handles the accounts for the congregation and other privileges as well.
Well, they both have had an early start in their theocratic careers. That's commendable. I'm sure you're both proud of them. And we're confident that Jehovah, the one to whom every family owes its name, is pleased that they're giving an answer to his taunter. In addition to the family life book, what else contributed to the success your family has experienced? Lynette.
The governing body has provided with so many publications with directions for families, of course, all based in Jehovah's Word. So we decided early on that whenever a question or an issue came up, we will not make any decision based on impulse. Instead, we will research it in the publications. We pray to Jehovah for him to give us wisdom, and we even pray for him to guide us to find the right time to talk to each other or to counsel the boys. I have always heard that there were stages on the child's life and personality development, so I researched it in advance as to what to expect. In that way, we were not surprised when we saw changes in attitudes or ideas, and that helped us realize what needed to be addressed or corrected as opposed to what was normal for that stage in the boy's life.
Very practical. Freddie, what can you add?
Over the years, I have learned how essential it is to become a good listener, also understanding. I tell my family how much I love them every day because you never know when circumstances might change. Family worship is very important for us. I know it's easy to put off, but the benefits are hard to beat. Well, before this arrangement started, as a family, we value the Bible study with the family. I learned that a fetus is 6 months, he can recognize parents' voice. So I started Bible study with my son when they were still in the womb.
Isn't that nice?
and continue to do so after that. I know that secular work and other activities can block to our regular program, but we need to fight that tendency if we want to succeed in family worship.
Very good. Well, it seems your efforts paid off when we consider how well your family's done spiritually and the close relationship you have with each other. Now, Lynette, it sounds as if the family is perfect. No challenges. Is that the case?
No, not at all. 1 Corinthians 10:13 says that Christians will face challenges that are common to all men. And we have faced the normal challenges that comes with raising a family. The same verse indicates that if we do things Jehovah's way, we may increase the opportunity for Him to make the way out for us. One unexpected challenge that has changed our family dynamics over the years now was when Freddie was diagnosed with cancer in 2012. The treatment was aggressive and took its toll on his health. Our whole lifestyle changed. We had to move out from our house to an apartment. We gave away our dog's bike, and we have to watch our expenses really closely to keep going. This could have put a lot of strain in our family and our marriage and in spirituality. But again, by praying to Jehovah constantly and applying Bible principles, I can say my marriage and my family has never been better.
Wow.
Spiritually, we kept our routine, and we all stay in full-time service throughout the ordeal. The boys have cooperated very well. They have offered to work to give us money, but we prefer for them to keep focused in the kingdom because we are confident that Jehovah will add on to the things we need. Freddie has been a great example for all of us because he pushes himself to keep his spiritual routine. You never see him complaining or in a bad mood. And that has been very inspiring for the rest of the family.
Boy, it's quite a story. You folks will certainly relate to the convention drama video that was advertised on our April program. Freddie, we're very sorry to hear about your physical condition. Are there any favorite scriptures that you've used to help keep you going spiritually and stay strong?
There are many of them. Just to mention a few, Philippians chapter 4, 6, and 7 have been my life since 2012, where I have to pray to Jehovah constantly so He can give me the strength that I need to overcome my health. And also, Philippians says that He will give us peace of mind. In addition, He will safeguard our heart. And that's something I've been seeing from Jehovah. Also, Isaiah 41:10 state that, do not be anxious, for I am your God. Those words give me confidence that He will keep on helping us in these circumstances, or different circumstances in our life. I do understand that my wife have a lot of responsibilities in the household, so I had to rewrite Proverbs 31, verse 10 to 31, and the way that they describe all the responsibility a good wife might have to shoulder for the family. So, Brother Morris, she's my Proverbs 31 wife.
A good wife for sure. Now, you've obviously shown how much you love and respect each other. That's commendable. And your focus on being the best parents you could be is a good example for parents viewing the program at this time. This will come as a surprise to you, but we'd like to invite your two sons out to see what they remember from growing up in the family. We have Gabriel and Adrian with us. Mom's getting a little teary-eyed. That's understand. It was a surprise, see?
Yeah.
So, Gabriel, since you're the oldest, we'll start with you. What do you remember about your family life, first in Puerto Rico and later here in the United States?
I remember faithfully going to all the meetings and going out on service every Saturday. That was just the routine. In Puerto Rico, my dad had to work a lot though. And like he said before, that's easy to get in the way of a good family worship routine. But I can honestly say, once we made that transition of moving over here, that helped us to have a good family worship routine. And it has helped us to get closer and closer each day.
Nice. Now, Adrian, anything you can add about the home life?
Yeah, my mom and dad have always shown a great love for Jehovah, but also for each other. So as kids, you could just sense that. So love and respect is what we've always known. Even now that my brother and I are older, we have a great bond with each other. We love each other and we could tell each other everything about our lives. And it's due to that love and respect that they have shown. And even if there are disagreements, which there's always going to be disagreements because it's an imperfect family, but that love is always there to bridge those differences. I'd also like to add something that helped me a lot was a routine that my dad and I had right before going to school. We would always read the daily text, and he would always say, behave, and remember that Jehovah loves you. And I don't think he knows how much that really helped me go through everyday challenges at school.
That's priceless. Now, very nice observation. Now, Gabriel, I'm interested in understanding what prompted you to regular pioneer when you were only 14 years old?
It was at a point where my dad lost his job. Rather than stressing about it, worrying about it, he looked at things with a spiritual perspective. So he started to pioneer. And since our schedules matched perfectly, I was his little pioneer buddy. I would go out on service with him whenever he needed it. And I feel like if spiritual families, focus on spiritual matters, it helps them to come closer. And I can't imagine how our relationship and respect for one another can be any better than what it is now.
Very nice. Now, Adrian, you began pioneering when you were 14 as well. How do you think that affected you as a person?
Well, first of all, the reason why I started pioneering was because I was going out in service with the rest of my family. And since they were already pioneering, I was getting the time in. But I do think that taking on the responsibility of getting at least 70 hours a month in the service does make you think differently at 14 than it would have otherwise. I think it has helped me mature spiritually, and it has contributed to me being used at my full potential in the congregation. And honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Well, maybe going to Bethel.
Gabriel, back to you. Tell us, what was it like when you learned that your dad had a serious health problem and would not be able to provide for the family like he used to?
It was probably one of the biggest challenges I have ever faced. When my dad got diagnosed with cancer, it was about the same time that I got my call to Bethel. And I was torn, I was divided. I felt like if I was to go to Bethel now, it would be selfish of me to leave my family at a time like that. But my family always had a spiritual view on things, and citing scriptures like Matthew 6:33 constantly helped me to see if as a whole, as a family, we put kingdom interests first, that Jehovah was going to provide because he's a loving father and friend. And then my dad lost his job. And again, all these feelings came up. But my family was adamant. They let me know that the congregation had been taking care of them for months now, and them doing some simplifying on their own helped them as well, and I didn't have to worry about anything. I do know that there's a scripture that says that we got to take care of our own, so I do anything I can to help my family back home. The only thing I hope is that I can have a good faith like they've shown through these difficult times.
Well, thank all of you for joining us. I think all of us are feeling that emotion and feel very close to you for sharing that. Now, as a father, I can appreciate all that Freddie's trying to do as head of the family. And Lynette, your support beyond normal is very much to be commended. And we can tell your family is thriving spiritually, and we pray Jehovah will continue to bless your efforts, come what may. And we thank you, Gabriel and Adrian, for your surprise to the studio. Thank you very much for taking the time to be interviewed.
Thank you for the
Thank you for
privilege.
the
Thank you.